Greetings and salutations, friends. Sorry it's been a while. January was a truly shitty month for me. Don't really want to get into it. But I'm back! And it's Monday, so it's Meta Monday time. Happy Monday! Today, we'll be going over the deck that had the largest piece of the pie at LCS number 10. Virtual World. We're going to be focusing on the deck post Blazing Vortex, as it did get some spicy support in there.
Let's go!
Virtual World, or Datascape as they're known in the OCG, which is clearly the better name, have been a meta contender since they were released in Phantom Rage in November of last year. To distill them to the most basic, non-nuanced thought I could have, True King of all calamities go brrrr. However, there is more to the deck than that, being a combo control deck. The goal is to largely shut down your opponent's plays through VFD, and then murder them on the swingback. However, it is a very solid grind game with a ton of ways to recycle resources and generate advantage. Let's get into the overview, and prepare yourself for some terrible pronunciation. Subscribe! And like the video, thank you. 4 out of the now 6 main deck VW monsters share this effect. If this card is in your hand, you can target one Virtual World card you control. Send one Virtual World card of a different type, monster, spell or trap, from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon this card. Each of these 4 monsters then follow up with a different effect. GG allows you to add a Virtual World monster from the grave to your hand during the end phase. Remember to recycle, kids. Lulu allows you to add a Virtual World card of the third type from your deck to your hand. For example, you special summon Lulu by targeting GG on field, sending Qinglong from the deck to the grave. You can now add a Virtual World trap to your hand from your deck. Card advantage. Lao Lao lets you special summon a Virtual World monster from the graveyard to the field in defense position. Its effects are negated, and it can't have the same name as the card sent, but 2 monsters on field is definitely better than 1. Lily is, in my opinion, the worst of them. Lily lets you send a card of the third type to the grave from deck. So if you send a spell after targeting a monster, you can send a VW trap, etc, etc. While it's good, it's not as strong as a Search or Monster Reborn. It's also a level 6, so not normal summonable, always requiring a VW name on field. All VW main deck monsters also share a restriction in that, for the rest of this turn, you can only special summon level/rank 3 monsters or higher. It really doesn't matter, like, at all. But, you know, just so you know. Then, there's the 2 outliers to the special summon from hand effect, Nyan Nyan and Tutu. If Nyan Nyan is in the grave, she can special summon herself as a tuner if a level 3 monster is normal or special summoned to your field, but she gets banished when she leaves the field. Also, when Nyan Nyan is banished, you can target one of your banished cards and shuffle it into the deck. More recycling. Go Virtual World. Tutu is a level 6 that can be normal summoned without tributing, as long as you control no monsters or only control Psychic or Worm type monsters. You know what types all VW monsters are? You guessed it, Psychic or Worm. If Tutu is in the grave, you can discard a Psychic or Worm monster to special summon her as a tuner, but she gets banished when she leaves the field. Discarding Psyframe Driver to special summon Tutu does make me feel all warm and fuzzy. So that's their effects. Let's just go over a few other important factors with the main deck monsters. The goal is to spam level 9 synchros to go into Vascular Flatulence Dragon, so levels, and whether they're a tuner or not, are important, as is having a VW name on field. So having a good number of normal summonable VW monsters is a high priority. Gigi, Lulu and Nyan Nyan are all level 3, so are normal summonable. Tutu is also a normal summon due to her effect, even with a Vehicular Fatality Dragon on the field, as that Chungus is a worm. Lao Lao and Kirin could technically be normal summoned via tribute, but come on, no one is doing that. These 2 really require a VW name on board to be summoned, so it's important we keep that in mind. Opening with no monsters other than Lao Lao and Kirin means you can do absolutely nothing. Well, sort of, we'll go over that in a bit. So now we've covered the main deck monsters, let's check out the back row available to the archetype. We have 2 spells and 2 traps that are archetype specific. Virtual World City Kowloon and Virtual World Gate Qinglong are the spells. Virtual World Gate Chuchi and Virtual World Gate Jianwu, the traps. Spells first. Virtual World City Kowloon is a normal spell that gives an effect depending on the number of face-up Virtual World Gate cards you control. 2+ and all your VW monsters gain 200 attack this turn. Woo. 3+, send the top 3 cards of your deck to the grave. 4. Special summon up to 4 VW monsters with different names from your extra deck. The fun part with Kowloon is that none of these effects matter. At all, really. No, the reason you run Kowloon is the first part of the card's text. Place 1 Virtual World Gate card from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone. This turns Kowloon from useless into a starter, as it gives us a VW name on board, allowing us to start using our monster's ability to special summon themselves. Virtual World Gate Chingwong can target a monster and negate its effect until end of turn at the cost of banishing a VW card from grave. However, the main reason Chingwong is so good is its second effect. You can banish this card from the graveyard, add 1 VW monster from your deck to hand, then send 1 card from your hand to the grave. A searcher that lets you dump something that can special summon itself from grave, such as Nyan Nyan or Tutu, is pretty strong. Onto the traps, both of which are continuous. Virtual World Gate Chuchi can shuffle back 2 VW cards with different names from your banished pile to destroy 1 card. It can also be banished from the graveyard to increase or decrease a VW monster's level that you control by 3. A recycling pop plus level manipulation helping smooth out getting to the level 9 synchros for VFD is pretty good and important to some combos, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The second trap, which is brand spanking new, thanks Blazing Vortex, is Virtual World Gate Jianwu. Jianwu, on field, lets you change the battle position of a monster during the battle phase, as long as you control another gate, which is, pretty awful. Jianwu, much like others, shines in its banish effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Virtual World monster in your graveyard. Special summon it, but negate its effects, and then send 1 card from your hand to the grave. This turns it from useless to an easy extender. Sometimes the discarding is beneficial, but even when it isn't, the deck has enough ways to generate card advantage that it isn't the biggest deal. The biggest downside is targeting the monster to summon as cost, as this opens it up to DD Crow and the likes, but hey, if they've got it, they've got it. Extra deck time, boys! Synchros first. Virtual World Kyubi Shenshen is a level 9 synchro that is a macrocosmos for the field on a 2800 attack body, but that's not all. When one of your monsters declares an attack, you can return 1 banished monster to the owner's graveyard. Volkswagen are obviously very forgiving with their banished monsters. On top of this, Shenshen can special summon itself from the grave by banishing 2 monsters with different types and attributes from each other, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard. So not only does Shenshen recycle other monsters, he can recycle himself super easily. Shenshen is also generic, so any deck that can make a Synchro 9 can make him, which is pretty sweet. Juju is a level 6 synchro that can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, while you have 2 or more monsters with the same type and attribute in grave, but different names. He also lets you banish 2 monsters with the same restrictions to target 1 card on the field and send it to the graveyard. Non-destruction removal is always strong, even when it targets. There's also 2 Xyz monsters in the archetype. Virtual World Phoenix Fanfan and Virtual World Dragon Longwong. Fanfan is a generic rank 6 that lets you detach 2 materials to target 1 face-up card your opponent controls and 1 card in either graveyard, and banish them. When Fanfan is destroyed by your opponent, either by battle or card effect, you can special summon 2 VW monsters with the same type and attribute as each other from your deck. More bodies, less problems. Longwong requires 2+ level 3 monsters with the same type and attribute. The opponent can't target Longwong with card effects while it has material. Its effect is here and is largely irrelevant, with almost no one running Longwong, but I figured I'd include it since it is a VW card. Before we head into Combo Corner, let's go over some of the other synchros, as these are really what let the deck go brrrr. For the level 6s, we have Stardust Charge Warrior, which lets us draw a card when he is synchro summoned. Card advantage. Coral Dragon is a tuner, as well as letting us discard a card to destroy 1 card on the field. It also draws a card when sent from field to graveyard, so using it to sync into a 9 gets us cards, boy. In the 9 slot we have Ravenous Croco Dragon Archetype, which is a generic sync 9 that, you guessed it, draws a card. Qiaofeng, Phantom of the Yang Xing, is an extender that searches a tuner monster from deck when it's destroyed, alongside a bunch of other text that doesn't really matter here. Vermilion Dragon Mech can banish a tuner to destroy 1 card on the field, and when it itself is destroyed by card effect, you can add a banished tuner to hand. This is great for recycling a Lulu that you needed to normal summon, giving you an extender and a level 9 in the grave. And for the most important Sync 9, Cloud Castle. Cloud Castle summons a level 9 monster from your grave when he's summoned, enabling an instant VFD. Now, let's head over to Combo Corner. Combo Corner. Let's start with probably the most basic combo, which just gets us nice and easily to VFD this big bad boy in the background here. So we're going to start with a GG and a Lulu. We're going to normal summon the GG, then activate Lulu's effect, targeting the GG to special summon GG, sending Qinglong to the grave, and then we're going to add the Jianwu to our hand. We're then going to activate Qinglong, banishing it to search out a Lao Lao, which will be here. So we add the Lao Lao and we discard the Jianwu. We're then going to go Synchro 6 into Stardust Charge. Just going to draw as a card, which is always nice. So we get a draw, we're not going to activate anything else at the moment. We're then going to activate the Jianwu, special summon the Lulu from grave, and we'll just discard the card that we just drew there, which was the Lulu. We're then going to go into, hey, where are you, Shen Shen? Into Shen Shen here. That gives us a VW name on board. I mean, we had it with Lulu anyway, but, you know, we're then going to activate Lao Lao, targeting the Shen Shen, send whatever. I like to send a Chuchi here. Special summon Lulu, special summon virtual monster from the graveyard. Yes, please, we're going to get the GG because it's not a tuner. We're then going to sync 9 into Ravenous Croco Dragon Archetype. There we go, that's going to draw us a card as well. We get a Pot of Desires off the top. Very nice. And then we're going to go in to our True King of All Calamities, combo number 1. So for combo number 2, we need a Kowloon, the Lulu, and 2 discards. So that's our Gamma boys here. We're going to activate Kowloon, which is going to get us a Chuchi face up on the field. And then going to activate Lulu, special summon herself, targeting the Chuchi. And that's going to send a Qinglong to grave. And that's going to add a Lili to hand. From here, we're going to banish the Qinglong to search out a GG. GG! I would discard one of our Gammas. We're going to activate Lili, targeting Lulu. And we're going to send Chuchi to grave. Special summon Lili, and then we're just going to send another Qinglong. We're then going to activate Juju. GG. Yeah, GG. Lots of names that are very, very similar. We're not going to chain anything here. And that's going to send the Jianwu. Special summon GG there. Then going to activate the Chuchi, banishing it to increase the level of one of these two, either Lulu or GG by 3. It doesn't matter. There we go. And we're going to sync 9 into Qiaofeng. See, this is where Qiaofeng comes in useful. We have a Chuchi on field with its effect available. So we're then going to activate Chuchi to pop the Qiaofeng, shuffling back these two. And we're going to activate Qiaofeng's effect here to search out a Lao Lao. We're then going to banish the Jianwu from our graveyard to special summon Lili. In defense, because why not? Discard the second Gamma. And now we're going to go into Cloud Castle. And that's going to reborn the Qiaofeng, giving us 2 level 9s. So you know what that means, lads. That means VFD, True King of All Calamities. Here we go. I'm then going to activate Calamity's effect. Your best calling light here, because if they're like holding onto a Gamma or a Nibiru that they've not used, now they can't. From here, we're going to activate the Lao Lao, targeting the Chuchi. Send a Nyan Nyan for later turns. Special summon the Lao Lao, which is going to let us special summon the virtual world monster from the grave. We're going to summon GG. We're not going to activate Nyan Nyan's effect here because then we just have a pointless level 3 tuner on board. And then we can go into Cloud Castle number 2. And that's going to reborn the Qiaofeng once more, because Cloud Castle isn't once per turn. We're going to overlay these into the second True King of All Calamities. Good luck. and then we also get the search off of GG at the end phase. Now, there is another way that you can do this, so we're just where we were with the one True King of all calamities on field. If you feel like 2 calamities is unfair and unfun and just, you know, broken, then don't go into the second calamities. We can still go Lao Lao, targeting Chuchi, send the Nyan Nyan, special summon Lao Lao, bring back the GG, and instead of going Cloud Castle, bringing back the Chao Feng that you detach, we can just go into Shen Shen here, and there we go. You've got Macros Cosmos for the field, and a VFD, because that's more fair and more fun, right guys? Combo Corner. So there is 2 quick 2-card combos, each ending on at least 1 VFD. There's so many combo lines depending on opening hand that I'm not going to be able to cover them all, but I've linked the VW Discord down below, where there are a ton of people more intelligent than me playing the deck, working on combos, and helping everyone be a better Volkswagen pilot. I've decided to include the deck list that I've been playing and testing with. Let's run through it quickly. First, our starters. These are all able to get a VW name on board to get our plays going. We have the 3 GGs, the 3 Lulus, the 3 Nyan Nyans, the 2 Tutus, the 3 Virtual World City Kowloon, the 2 Foolish Burial Goods, and the 1 Emergency Teleport. An additional benefit, aside from being 15 starters, is that these pretty much all double as extenders as well. The reason we have Foolish Burial Goods is that it lets us send a Qinglong to grave, so that we can then use that to search any of our VW monsters to get going. It can also be used to extend through sending Jian Wu for a Reborn or Chuche to manipulate levels. The E-Telly, obviously, can just fetch Lulu, or Nyan Nyan for a name on board, as well as giving us a level 3, either tuner or non-tuner, for extension. Speaking of extension, for our extenders we have the 3 Lao Lao and the 2 Lili. And then we also have 3 Qinglong, 3 Chuchi, and 1 Jianwu. Only running 2 Lili here, as it can break occasionally if you draw multiples. Plus, with the level of searching and level modulation the deck can do, I don't think 3 is necessary. Remember, the spells and traps really only work as extenders in the grave. While Chuchi and Qinglong have relevant on-field effects, we never really want to draw into Jianwu, as we really only care about its Reborn effect. That's why I feel 1 copy is the right amount. Also, remember that every starter doubles as an extender in some form or other, so there's a lot of flexibility in lines of play. My hand traps of choice for the main at the moment are the 3 Ash Blossom, which hits about every deck in existence, and the Gamma package of 3 Psyframe Gear Gamma and 1 Psyframe Driver. It's just a ridiculously strong hand trap, and they also double as discards to special summon 2/2 from grave via her effect. Finally, we have 2 copies of Pot of Desires to dig for our combo pieces, never 3. Never 3. You don't want to desires into desires, because that just, it hurts your soul. And then we also have a little spell trap removal in Cosmic Cyclone and Harpy's Feather Duster. Just, it's always nice to have some main deck outs to Mystic Mine. In the extra deck, we're running synchro-wise, 1 Stardust Charge Warrior for that Sync 6 draw, 1 Coral Dragon for the level 6 tuner, as well as the draw when we synchro with it, 1 Shen Shen for recycling and the Macrocosmos effect, 1 Vermilion Dragon Mech for easily making Cloud Castle live, as well as recycling a tuner, 1 Chao Feng for extending our plays, 1 Ravenous Croco Dragon Archetype for the Sync 9 draw, and 2 Cloud Castles, because it's just, you know, it might as well say, when this card is synchro summoned, make VFD. For the Xyz, we have 1 number 75 Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. This card lets us detach 2 materials to turn an opponent's activated monster effect into both players draw 1 card. This helps if we can make it as summon 5 or before, as it stops the dreaded Nibiru. 1 number 49 Fortune June. This is our Zeus enabler, as it can detach a material to stop it from being destroyed. Also, when it's sent from field to grave, it shuffles back 2 level 3 monsters from the grave and sends itself back to the extra deck. Recycling! 1 Constellar Ptolemy, M7, to either recycle 1 of our cards from the grave, putting it back to our hand, or bouncing an opponent's card back to their hand. Easily one of the best rank 6s. 1 Divine Arsenal AA Zeus Sky Thunder, which we can make with Fortune Tune. It's Zeus. I mean, if you can, you play it. And then finally, our two true king of all calamities. The VFD, the Vascular Flatulence Dragon, the Vehicular Fatality Dragon, the very fun dragon. It's VFD, and turboing it out is what makes VW so powerful. Considering you can make 2 on your first turn, yeah, it's pretty good. And that wraps it up for Virtual World. Go forth, my friends, make VFD and destroy people's will to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Until next time, Treeborn Frog checking out.